Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm Keisha Dixon, and I am so excited to have with me here my friend, creator, and author, Sunny Chapman. Sunny has recently authored Rich in Love 10 Powerful Mindset Shifts to a More Abundant Life in Every Way. And she brought the fire. She did not come to play. This book, and I'm going to try really hard not to fangirl too hard, but this book is everything, 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 everything. So I knew after reading it the first time that I absolutely desired to interview Sunny regarding her process in creating Rich in Love, because this book, it is the main ingredient and the secret sauce to an abundant life. And when reading it the second time and going through the prompts for the third cycle in, I was like, oh my God, more people need to know about this. More people need to know about this book. This book should be in every single school system across the globe. It is that powerful and
Wow.
digestible. So thank you so much. I'm honored for you to be here, Sunny. Thank you for creating this book, Rich in Love. And I'd love for you to share with us what prompted you to write it.
Well, thank you so much, first of all, for having me today. I'm so honored. And that was just such a stunning welcome. I'm so grateful for that. That is just beautiful. So thank you. I love being here. And so what prompted me to write this book? Honestly, it was just, I kind of received the book title, it just as like a download one day. And I knew I was going to write the book. I didn't know when I was going to write the book, and I didn't know exactly what the book was going to be about or anything like that, but I knew it would come. And so that was maybe 2+ years ago. Mm-hmm. And then during the pandemic, when everything just got like really jumbled and rearranged, that presented itself to be the perfect time to write the book. And I wrote the book out of my kind of passion and fire to help heal the world's relationship with money, out of my own pain and my family's pain, and just seeing so much pain in the world around money and so much feeling of lack and limitation, and having money be the reason why people don't go after their dreams and don't follow their hearts and don't do what they're truly longing to do, and feeling money is an enemy rather than a friend. And I wanted to change that for myself and for everyone else. And so I knew writing the book was going to be a healing journey for me. And I just hope that it is also that for my readers.
Well, I certainly, being a reader, I can certainly say it's been a healing journey for me as well. It was so eye-opening the way you positioned this healing work with money as being rich in love. And I love that that you just talked about receiving the download, receiving the title, having it for 2.5 years, having the skeleton of it, but not having it written out, being in trust and surrender. Oh my God, that alone, that part of the story is a healing within itself.
Yeah. It really is. Just it's that constant journey when you're doing that, is like taking that next step, even though you don't know what it is. You don't even know what it is yet, what it's going to be, and just trusting and just kind of like walking in with that surrender in front of you, trusting that next step's going to be there. And it always is. It just blows my mind. It's magic.
And so you started physically writing it in 2020?
Yeah, I started physically writing it in 2020. And I should also explain the title of the book a little bit. Rich in Love comes from the saying, which you may or may not have heard, like we don't have much, but we're rich in love, or we don't have money, but we're rich in love, which is a beautiful theme and belief that my family carried, which is the intention behind that is beautiful, because they want, and we all want to be grateful for what we have and what's really important. But our child selves, my child self, internalize that as meaning we're not the kind of people who have money, and we never will be. We're just not those people. We're people who get to have love and meaningful things, but we don't get to have money. So this book is about, we get to have both.
We get to have, absolutely, we
have
get to have both. Yeah, that was a common theme in my household too. At least we have love.
Yeah.
At least we're happy.
Yeah.
There's at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Money being the great magnifier, right? Amplifier.
Yeah.
You can have lots of money and lots of love.
Yes. Just amplifies who you already are. Like,
it does. And your book helps to shift and remember who you really are.
Thank you.
So of the 10 shifts that you share, which were, your perspective is so mind-blowing. It just, I've worked with you in the past. We've talked a lot about money and money mindset. I'm a member of your course, Feast and Famine No More. So I already knew you were genius. And in reading Rich in Love, I'm like, oh, she's blowing my mind.
Wow.
Your perception and your perspective is so mind-blowing. And once you see it, you can't unsee it, which is what I really, truly appreciate. And it just gets deeper and deeper with every read, and every time I revisit it, I'm like, yeah, oh my God, I'm fully embodying this. But of those 10 shifts that you share, is there one for you that stands out as being the biggest breakthrough for you personally?
That is so tough, because every single one is so vital to me, and every single one was such a huge breakthrough for me, and took many months in unfolding and blooming itself out. But it's kind of a tie, I'd say, between just the basic first chapter, which is trust yourself, trust life. But that's something I'm always kind of working through. So I'd say like the biggest kind of breakthrough one in the book for me this time is I don't work for money, money works for me. Or money works for me, instead of I work for money. So that was just huge, and it really was so different than I expected that one to be, because some people view that in a very different way. Like, it's all about like, investing and that paying you back, or passive income. And it can be all those things, and it is all those things.
Right.
But for me, the huge breakthrough and discovery around that was just, it flipped the whole paradigm of I chase money.
Right.
I try to get money. I work to earn my money and my worth, completely on its head, to money loves and wants to support me. Money is here and wants to nourish me and support me. Like money works for me, like air works for me, like sunshine works for me. Like it's there, it's here to support my life. It's here to support my dreams. It's here to support my passions and my gifts. And it's here for me to be fully me. And that was like, whoa.
You better speak that truth.
I'm feeling it in my whole body right now. It's like whole tingles.
I'm feeling it too. And I love that you said what it is this time, because that's been my experience too. This is my second time of fully reading the book, third time of going through all of the prompts. And it keeps shifting what my favorite is, because they're all good. They're all so freaking good. And it keeps shifting. And now this week I have a tie for two. It's Infinite River of Abundance is available to me and to everyone. And also money works money works for me, right? Money works for you is also my favorite. And what I've done over the last few weeks is, well, what this book has done over the last few weeks, it's really illuminated for me what one of my superpowers is. And I never really viewed it as a superpower before, not in the way I do now. But I've been able to really translate that over to money, and that's my imagination. When I was a child, I had an imaginary friend, Kappa Kappadita, and I brought her to life.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you. So when I read your chapter, Money Works for You, you don't work for money, and your perspective on it, I was like, yeah, money and I, we could be besties, we can be best friends. And I started doing some of the prompts that you have at the end. I'm not going to give them away. At the end of that chapter, and I was having this conversation with money, giving it away, what actions I was taking to have these conversations with money. And money really became this loyal, trusted, supportive bestie that is constantly picking up the tab for me. It's like money is no longer just, it's no longer just paper to me. It's no longer just energy to me. It's like this, it's been personified as money's my bestie. I call him no.
Yes, I love that so much. Yeah.
It has brought so much to life, and money and I are constantly having conversations, and money has been revealing to me things that I've been doing that hasn't been completely supportive in our relationship. So I am loving this deepened relationship with money. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I love hearing that so much, and how that comes through and proliferates in your life. That is just beautiful. And yeah, imagination is such a powerful thing to bring, life into these things and to have a relationship with them, because we already do have a relationship with them. We're just not conscious of it.
And when we're not conscious, I'm sorry, when we're not conscious in a relationship, where it's usually not a healthy relationship.
Not a good relationship. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Another thing about you, and this shines through in all of your work, at least this is what I see in all of your work, is you really pivot to things that bring you joy. And you're very conscious about, well, is this for me? Is this for my life or not? So can you share, has it always been that way for you?
Yes and no. So yes, like for me, moving towards my joy it's like freedom. Freedom is my number one motivator and my number one value. And money for me means freedom. It's tied to freedom. And that's another chapter in the book, is flipping that one on its head. It's like, but I believed for a long time that the richer I was, the freer I would be. Right. And in fact, it's the freer I am, the richer I am. So I'm sorry, I totally tangented away from the original question there.
No, you're answering it. The original question was, you really, what I see in you is you really only
pivoting towards joy.
Participate in those things that bring you joy. It's always been that way.
So it has been a huge factor. It has been a huge drive for me. But I didn't really believe I could have both of those things. I thought I could have joy over here if I created money to support it over here.
Right.
And it was like, I didn't believe those things could be one thing, that those things could unite, that those things could merge, and that could support more of that directly. And so I have always been motivated by joy. I've always been creative, and I've always been a freedom loving person who's always tried to do that. But with money, it was still very separated out. Like, I don't get rewarded for that. Like, I just earn for that. So that was such a shift for me to start to invite and allow money in alignment with my joy in a more deep way.
The funny thing that we have some B-roll here. The funny thing that I've noticed with money and in personal development is when you are aligning money with joy, and I don't see a lot of people talking about this, is it feels very messy
Oh
when
my
you're in it.
God. It's so messy.
It feels so sticky. It feels so messy when you're in it. How did you navigate those messy bits?
Oh, you.
Thank
So Keisha Dixon's magic for
thank you.
transmuting and transforming pain into magic and beauty and goodness and richness. So tapping with Keisha, so many things. So I have practices and processes, walks in nature, meditation, energy healing work, just showers or baths, water, so healing for me, helping me move through those messy times, talking it out to somebody who is going to hold space for that in a loving way and can help you transmute it instead of just affirm your pain point.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yes.
But and some days just honestly curl up into a ball and just cry
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah. Just
And
allowing
just let
yourself
it
to
move.
be.
Just allow that pain to move. Because what I've just come to realize so clearly through this whole thing is like, it's so normal. It's so normal. And it's a healing process, like you said. And it's like just these layers of stuff that we've never been allowed to hold, never been allowed to feel, and never been allowed to fully be with, or couldn't. It just wasn't safe to. We didn't have the capacity to. And as we're going through this, you're growing your capacity to, you're expanding your boundary to hold more. And then so that stuff's safe to come up and be seen. So like the best thing that I could ever do for it is just be with it with love and just give love to like what's coming up today, like excruciating embarrassment. Like, hello, embarrassment. I see you. I love you. You are safe. I am
love
safe.
that. I love that. I love that. So it what I'm feeling is, one of the ways that you've navigated this is by ritualizing self-love.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. And ritual, I heard this recently. I don't remember from who. I think on YouTube. But ritual is very calming to our amygdala, our lizard brain, that thing that triggers in fight, flight, or freeze or fawn type responses. So ritualizing and deepening your own self-love and self-honoring, oh my gosh, that's very powerful.
Yes, it's so powerful. So
Mhm.
powerful. Yeah. That's
Very
such a great
powerful.
point. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that
In
language.
in Rich in Love, you shared how you pivoted in your business. What advice would you give, Sunny, to any listener who is thinking about pivoting?
Stay with yourself. Just stay with yourself. You've had a vision, you know your truth, you know what brings you joy, and that's for a reason. It's been born in you for a reason. And the more you can honor that and stay with yourself through those messy bits, the better. And just normalize those messy bits, know that they're going to be there, and just stay with yourself. And my other suggestions are to surround yourself with more people, books, whatever programs, whatever brings you support around that, because you're trying to normalize a new reality around something. And you can't do that using the old reality. So you have to bring in some people and things and whatever that is that supports that new reality. That's been so vital to me. So I highly suggest doing that, because, that's that messy bit. It feels unsafe because we're in unfamiliar territory. And so the more people who are there with you in that unfamiliar territory, but holding your vision with you as well, and knowing that it's possible for you, the better. So that is vital. And continually reassess what's bringing you joy and what's no longer needed, because that's always shifting.
My God, yes.
Right? It's like 1 week, and then the next week you can be this thing that was serving you fine is no longer serving you and is causing you pain, or you didn't notice the week before and you do the next week.
Yeah, and giving yourself permission to change your mind, to change your joy. That's amazing.
Yes, because yes, your joy will shift and change and evolve, and that's so okay. So okay, yeah.
That's very, very, very powerful. Thank you for sharing that. And I love that you mentioned, be surrounded by people who have a different perspective, or read the books. That's why I'm in my now going on my third read of Rich in Love, because because it really is a different perspective. And I've been approaching it with the mindset of, I don't know what I don't know, so let me read, right? Let me read more. I'm not approaching it from a mindset of, oh, okay, I've read mindset books before. This, by the way, is like no other one I've ever read before.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for creating it. And it's brought so much. Like, I have so many tangible results just from reading the book and doing the exercises. Yeah, like this week. What happened this week? This week I was doing my Hey Money's my bestie friend, and I was asking Money for support in the following areas. And I was doing it using an old paradigm that tends to show up from time to time, of putting conditions around. All right, well, Money, show up this way, that way, and when you show up this way and pick up the tab there, then I'll go ahead and do. And Money, my friend Monet,
I love that.
she turned that around on its ass. On Monday, I had to get glasses for Madison, and I had put all of these conditions around getting her a new pair as opposed to getting them repaired. Well, Monet set it up so that they couldn't be repaired, and the shop owner just gave me a new pair of glasses, which is like
awesome.
Amazing. Right. Thank you. And I know that I would not have been in an energetic receiving space to receive that. Even if this shop owner had said that to me on Monday, without me reading the book, I would not have been able to receive it or even see what was at play. I would have been like, no, let me pay you. No, I was like, thank you, Monet.
Yeah. Thank you, Monet. I love that.
Thank you. You're always looking out. So, I mean, that's like a tangible example of what happens. I've gone through your journal prompts and written something out, and like minutes later, out of the blue, nothing's really out of the blue, right? Out of the blue, it just emerged, and I was able to see the money, the exact amount, just plop into my bank account.
Awesome.
Completely unexpected, well intended, but unexpected.
Awesome.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that. I want to talk a little bit about your other work, one of your other creations, Feast or Famine No More, which I'm very grateful to be a member of. Can you share with the audience, with us, what the Feast or Famine loop is?
So the Feast or Famine loop in your business, Feast or Famine can look like a lot of things, but you may have heard the phrase, when you have a business, it's feast or famine in this business, it's feast or famine in this business, which means like you have an influx of work, money, clients, whatever, and it's doing great. And then you got nothing. And then it's like crickets, or you have an influx of money and projects, and then a huge bill comes up and wipes it all out, or you spend it all, or whatever. So it's just this constant roller coaster with money, and there's no feeling of stability and plenty. And that course I created out of my own intimate relationship with that pattern, not just in my money, but in my body, because I had an eating disorder. I had bulimia for many years until I was 30 years old, and healed that. And once I healed that cycle in my body,
Mhm.
and I was like, I think I can heal this in my business and my money too. And so I set about to do that. And I had amazing result with that.
Mhm.
I just had, I was so tired of that pattern, but it took me getting to that point of being just so done with that pattern to really want to have the fire in me to change it. So my aim at that time was just stability and plenty. That's all I could dream for myself at that time. It was like stability and plenty with money. And so if somebody is experiencing those, that all or nothing, and it's really just a reflection of an all or nothing view, like in our culture, you know,
Yes.
and it's also a reflection of the and both, either or thinking
Yes.
of our culture, right?
Yeah.
Not the and both, but the either or that we're trying to
Mhm.
turn
Mhm.
into an and both. So it's an inside out job. Healing that pattern is an inside out job. There is no amount of money that will make you feel stable
Yeah.
for long.
Yeah.
Because as we've seen with people who have billions, I'm actually just chuckling at the amount of TV programs and movies and documentaries that are out right now about that very thing, just millions and billions of dollars, and then complete crashes.
Yes.
Yeah, there's all of that. So it's a cultural thing as well as a personal thing. And it's a pattern that I think all of humanity is in the process of healing, but it starts with that inner stability first.
Absolutely. And it doesn't necessarily make logical sense when you're in it. Like when you're in the go, that doesn't necessarily sound appealing. That's simply because your ego, right, is trying to hold on for dear life, because once you get this,
Yes.
woo,
Yes.
a whole world opens up for you that
Yeah.
you didn't realize could exist on such
Yes.
a luscious level.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So like my pursuit of that money was the healing journey though. And I love money for that. It called me into that because like you said, my ego wouldn't have followed. It's a deep healing journey. No, I don't want that. I want the money in my bank account. Because that'll make me feel stable. But it's like, it called me through. Yeah. And it called me through every single one of those things, to the point where I created an entirely different reality of stability around that, with savings, no debt, and taking 4-week vacations without worrying about money being there. Yeah. And it's like that, I couldn't have imagined that.
Yeah, and that's so interesting. You couldn't have imagined it. You have it now. You could not have imagined it. And freedom is your top core value.
Yes. Right? Yes, right.
So literally, you could not have imagined life. And now you don't have to imagine it. You're living it. You're being.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I love it too.
Who would benefit? Well, I know I've greatly benefited from your Feast or Famine No More program, but who else would benefit from it?
So first of all, like, thank you for being a part of my Feast or Famine No More course, and your brilliance shines in there, and people have been telling me like how transformational that is for them. And
thank you.
Wow, huge, amazing results that I've heard just recently this week, actually.
Awesome.
But so again, I went on a tangent. Who would
benefit from Feast or Famine No More? Exiting
anyone who has a dream. Anyone who has a dream, has a vision, who has a desire for, because it's not just about stabilizing that pattern. It's about staying with yourself. It's about becoming the thing that you want to be and feeling and living the life you want to live. So it's all of those things. But so anybody who's just desiring more stability and abundance in their life, in money and in clients, anyone who's feeling stuck in their business and burnt out and all the joy is gone and they're just not feeling it anymore and it's not flowing, them too. And just anyone who is just who just has a dream and has something in their heart that they're wanting that they do not believe that they can have or do. The limitations are just there. They just can't do it. It's just impossible. It's so possible, whatever that is, whatever that is.
It really is a phenomenal membership. It's a phenomenal course. I love that you mentioned the word joy, anyone who's not experiencing the joy, because that, I mean, besides really bringing in more consistency in my income for me going through that course personally, besides that, there was such an increase of joy. I stopped. That's when I really, because I used to be, and this comes up every once in a while. It's like a daily deliverance for me. But I used to be this crazy workaholic.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I would just work, and without bragging, I could get, because it's nothing to brag about, I could get more done in a day than a lot of people would consider even doing in a week.
Me too.
Yeah. And most of those tasks didn't give me joy.
Yeah.
And they weren't even productive. It didn't move the needle necessarily in my business.
Yeah.
There's something about, well, it's your magic, it's your energy, it's your perspective in the Feast or Famine No More course that all of a sudden I was like lit up in the day-to-day, not just in when I'm with my clients and not just when I'm front facing in my business, but I mean, I felt like what I would imagine it feels like to be on a constant, not constant high vibe, but a constant high of joy. Even in the low moments, yeah, it really is beautiful. Even in the low moments, there was still this this essence of joy.
I love that you share that.
Yeah. So that's really, I mean, yes, the money is great. Getting out of that feast or famine loop is necessary. The joy, I could not even put a price tag on that. I cannot even. It's such a gift. It's one of your superpowers. It's one of the gifts that you just naturally bring to this world.
Thank you so much for that. I love that you share that, because that just gives me a new appreciation for the whole thing as well, because that is just, it's so core and so vital. It's what we really want. It's like that.
Here.
And I love that you share that. Yes. And I love that you share that you've in those low, even in those low moments. That's how I feel as well about this work. It's like, even in those low moments, there's like a sweetness and a tenderness there. It's like a beautiful thing even there. So it's like, just because you're more in touch with yourself, you're more at home to yourself, and that naturally just emanates joy into every area of your life.
It so does. It really does. It's such a gift. Thank you so much for that. How can people reach you, Sunny? How can they contact you, find you, purchase your book?
You can find out everything you need to know about me on my website at sunnychapman.com. You can buy my book there. It's the exact URL for that is sunnychapman.com/rich-in-love-book. And my Feast or Famine No More course is also on there. And my Make More, Doing Less, Being You mini course is on there as well.
And that mini course is phenomenal.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah, I started that mini course prior to receiving when the book was being delivered. I had started the mini course. I'm like, oh, this is so good.
Oh, they're so good in tandem. I recorded it and then I did it myself, and I discovered some gems there as well.
It's so good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. This has been such a joy. Is there anything you'd like to share with us before we leave?
Just keep following those dreams. Keep believing that that thing that you want is for a reason and it's possible. And find those people who support you in that. And don't listen to those voices that say, just be grateful for what you have, or just forget it, or just like those are designed for that black and white thinking. Those are designed for that either or thinking, instead of I'm grateful and I want more. I'm grateful and I get to create more. So yeah, I would just leave you with whatever it is that your vision is, stay with yourself in that vision, and just all the best to you in that.
Oh, thank you so much, Sunny. Thank you for your time. Thank you for bringing these. Thank you for birthing Rich in Love. It's just made such a difference in my life, and I'm so truly appreciative of it. Thank you for birthing Feast or Famine No More. Again, a huge gift to humanity. So thank you so much for who
thank
you are.
So much for being a part of it. And thank you so much for being a part of Feast or Famine No More and being in there with your brilliance, and for giving me this opportunity to talk about the book.
Oh, I love it. All right, everyone, thank you so much for listening. I will post the links in the comment box below. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.